Get started in welcome to Get Started in Digital Marketing. Thank you for joining us. So today we're going to be covering some tips and tricks for some ideas of how to get started in digital marketing. We're going to be joined by some great guests. I'm Olympia. I'm the director of the London Digital Jobs and Skills Hub. We're funded by the Mayor of London to get more unemployed Londoners into better careers. And today that focus is digital marketing. So we're going to be talking to an experienced digital marketer, someone that's been working in the field for a very long time, hearing about what daily life is like and what the career prospects are. And then also someone that is near the beginning of their career and what experience, what tips and their experience has been in terms of getting started. We're just going to hang on for a few minutes while we wait for a few people to join us. But obviously today is Halloween. We can't make it, let it go past unmarked. Rebecca, what's your favourite Halloween sweet? If you get that in your trick or treat basket, what's the one that you're really happy about?
Oh, that is such a difficult question. There's so many to be excited about. I think I might have to go with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with fruit salad. It's the
lovely.
Really sweet. Love it.
Lovely. Well, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please do let us know in the comments. What's your favourite Halloween sweets? Very important question. Giuliano, what about you? What's your favourite Halloween sweet?
Well, I'm old, so I love sour gums.
Nice. I love a sour sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, because they compensated. When you eat about 5 bars of chocolate, you need about 5 mouthfuls of sour gum. And then suddenly you can eat more chocolate.
That's great. And so, yeah, it'd be great to hear who's watching. Where are you watching from today? I'm in London. Rebecca, whereabouts are you?
I'm also in London.
Excellent. And Giuliano, where are you?
I'm in Cork, in Ireland.
Oh, lovely. Very nice. It's actually really nice weather in London today, but I'm guessing perhaps not quite so nice in Cork.
No. We have like a weather storm hitting us today, and like it's lashing down rain here. So enjoy the good weather. Normally it comes from us and then pass on to you.
Oh, so okay.
So tomorrow,
will be great.
Okay. Sweets are guaranteed, right?
We've got Dee joining us. Oh, hang on. So Dee is in Kent. Hi, Dee. Lovely to have you with us. If anyone else wants to share where they are, please do write us a comment and we would love to hear from you. This is also an opportunity. We can use the comments to ask any of our guests today any questions that you have about getting started, and we will also try to answer those during the live stream. So one last question before we get going. So we're talking today obviously about digital marketing. What would you say your most successful social media platform is at the moment when you're in your role, Giuliano?
Oh, we have so many counters, so many things, but it has to be still Facebook on the B2C side and LinkedIn on the B2B. Like there's no doubt there. So it's a mix of generation. As you can see, as you guys know, we go to the learners from one side and the employers on the other one to merge both together. And then so we have always dichotomy of having both at the same time. But definitely LinkedIn for B2B, and at the moment Facebook, but we are starting to get some nice traction on TikTok as well.
Great.
Campaigns. So that's interesting as well.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you. And Rebecca, what platforms are you working with?
So the company as a whole works very closely with Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. It would be very difficult for me to actually decide to myself.
You can't pick a favourite. You can't play favourites.
Yeah, but no, they all perform very, very well. And I'm still in the process of getting used to these platforms in an analytics.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Well, we're going to come back to you, Rebecca. But for now, I'm going to speak to Giuliano a bit more to get a bit more of an idea of what a digital marketer does. So yeah, Rebecca, we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a little.
So Giuliano, So yeah, we're here to talk about digital marketing and what a digital marketer does. So why don't we start with a little bit about you and sort of your area of how this fits into your experience and your areas of expertise.
Sure, absolutely. Look, it's I had a sort of a not so common way to have arrived in marketing. I studied business management in school, but then I went to work for IT as assistant engineers for about 10 years. Process is something that I love, like coding and tech as a whole. And so I ended up basically, I ended up like working in IT for multiple companies for about 10 years. I got married and decided, no, I want to change. IT had enough. So I said, like, let's go back to do what I like to do. So I decided to go back to marketing after that. And I start from there. I start on digital from start. I never went to other routes. I merged basically my love for tech and process with the, let's say, growing of of digital in all different platforms and so on. And I start there. So I started with merging call centers with ad strategies, with email marketing campaigns, with CRM and so on. And then got me where I am today, guys. Just a little bit of everything. So whenever you're I think one big important thing of being a marketer, you have to be nosy. You really have to like to look at things different way and look the ball or the box from different sides. I think that's an important thing.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Okay. So, and tell us a little bit about what you do as a digital marketer. Sort of, what's your typical day like? What are your responsibilities?
Yeah, it's been a while since. Well, I'm still doing a lot of digital marketing in my function. I'm a global head of marketing for generations, so there's a lot of other things that I do that have nothing to do with marketing. Unfortunately, it would be great to be 100% dedicated. But things that we do on a daily basis, we're talking about we look at data, we look at results of campaigns, we put campaigns on live, we analyze results on the website. We are doing a large website overhaul for generations, so modifying the UX, modifying SEO, and so on. We are implementing new platforms and new conversion systems and tools for improving our conversion rate throughout different channels. We are testing different channels. So it's no days is like the other. That's the beauty of digital marketing. It depends which you are. You can be super specialized. So then you're going to have a little bit more, let's say, the same every day. But whenever you go a little bit more plural in terms of your objectives, you can end up every day is using the Halloween theme is like the ghost train. Every bend is a scare because you never know what's gonna find you on the day how to going to resolve. But it's good. Look, keep ourselves in our toes, right?
Yeah. Well, very good Halloween linking. So when you're a digital marketer, what's the sort of career trajectory like for you? Sort of what are typical starter roles, and where would you sort of typically end up if you forged your career in digital marketing?
Really, I think the beauty of a digital marketer, you could have a wide career, very, very well defined. Normally, the majority of people would start as analysts of some sort. So you could start an analyst and also there are so many different roles. You can go for things like UX and project management from one side, or you can go for marketing operations from the other side. You can creative content. You could go numeric, and so pure data crunching and analytics and so on. So there are really several different niche areas that are all considered to be digital marketing. Where you grow really depends on your interests. Some people are really interested in one area. So I worked in the past with fantastic SEO managers. Their love in life is SEO, how to merge content with optimization in search engines. But they never want to leave it. So what happened, and they also didn't want to go managing people. So they decided to specialize themselves and become super senior analysts or super senior advisors on the area, rather than branching out to different areas. The most common thing, though, from my opinion, is for people to branch out to different areas and start accumulating different areas of knowledge. So we have things like a marketing operations managers, for example, where they did campaign, they did content, they did analytics, and they end up merging together in the role of a marketing ops manager. And that, of course, normally to for-profit organizations to increase revenue and create growth, etc. or for not-for-profits that are our case, is still like to increase performance. So
Yeah.
it really depends of like your interest. That's why I love digital marketing. You could be, pardon the word, but you could be a nerd and you find something to do. You could be a super creative person, you find something to do. You could be a process geek, you find something to do. So there is always those areas that they can web together very well as well.
And so from your sort of experience, which was your way in? Was it the process? Was it the creative? What was your journey into it?
Yeah, my journey through it was because of my tech background. I ended up going to tech CRM. So I used to work with CRM on the technical side, and then like I did the jump or the leap to marketing, doing like a CRM and marketing. So a lot of campaign geared and ads and ops, etc. So that's how I did the transition. So I moved from like a fairly senior technical role to like a sort of a mid-manager role in marketing, where a lot of hands-on in terms of like, okay, look, in my case, I used to work with a dealership of like an automotive dealership. I have a lot of automotive experience in the past, and the idea there, okay, how do we implement the marketing in the CRM department? So we used to have a creative mark to do below the line, and how can we do above the line, and we need somebody to do below the line, and how can we implement that in a productive and affordable way into the automotive sector? Was great because we use tools, things like, okay, how do we develop the website? How do we develop email marketing campaigns? How do we develop Google Ads? At one stage we're paying 3 cents of dollar per click. And if I ever get 3 cents of dollar per click now, I'll be super happy.
That's very good going.
Oh yeah. But again, look, that's the white beard, right? That was like a very, very few springs ago.
We've actually got a question from one of our viewers, Radost. How difficult is it for a person who mainly does general marketing but wants to specialize in SEO and website content? What sort of what sort of advice would you have for someone like Radost?
I think depends a lot of first, look, if you are in a general marketing role in a certain company or organization and so on, it's hard to break the chains, right? It's like when you retrain. It's hard to leave, let's say, you imagine, I'm just getting here, Radost, for example, if you are like a mid-manager or even like a senior analyst doing a lot of different marketing things, if you go to specialize just in SEO, you're probably going to have to take a step back in terms of like position, because you're not an expert in SEO and content as you are in general marketing. So normally you have to find the right company to join or the right area in the company to join, and you have to be prepared to take a step back, because you're not going to be knowing everything. You may have a lot of technical knowledge, but may not have a lot of practical experience to go with. If you do, that's fantastic. Then you can say you have to probably retailer your CV and say, look, and tailor it to be an SEO and showcase the SEO area that you work or the content area that you work. And then you move forward that way. But that's how I would suggest there. It is difficult to go, let's say, quid pro quo from one to the other. They will be very difficult. But if you're prepared to do a step back to move to the area that you love, look, there is nothing more rewarding than work with something that you really love. If it is SEO content, I'll say, and of course, depend on the commitments, right? We all have commitments as well. I would love to do X, Y, and Z, but I have X, Y, and Z to be paying or count children, family, etc. But like I always focus on the things that you love the most. That's normally like how I'll do things.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like being if Radost has already identified, say, SEO or website content as the thing to go for, being clear and focused about that sounds like a good thing. Okay, thank you. And what sort of advice, we're going to be talking a bit later today with Rebecca that we've already met about one way into digital marketing, which is doing boot camps. But what advice in general do you have for potential digital marketers?
I think it's when you say the term digital marketing, it's so broad. It's like it's like say, oh, I'm an engineer. Okay, but what type of engineer? Are you a chemical engineer or organic? You can be process. You can be any type of engineer. Marketing, digital marketing is the same thing. So as I think, reverting to Radost as well, you could be an SEO content person. You can be a pure digital campaign person. You could be an analyst for digital data and results. You could be an ad ops person. You could be specialized just in content. You can specialize just in strategy. And so there's a lot of different ramifications of digital marketing. My advice is you choose your route. If you love, let's say, Rados, for using again his example, if you love content and SEO and you think that you want to make a life out of that, there will be space for you to be a hyper specialized SEO and content person. No doubt about it. There is always especially on, I used to joke, SEO for me is like black science, right? Black magic, because you put a little hat, a witchy hat, and something makes things happen. It's very hard. It's a dark art to manage, right? But look, there is a lot of technical concept behind it, and it's hard to master. So if you get there and do it right, there are always going to be options for you to work with. On my case, I prefer to actually learn more about the other areas, specialize in what I like. In my case, is process and tooling. So I do love MarTech and tech stack, and I do love process and of course data. So those three things that make me happy. But then all the other things, I still have to learn them, and I have to try to master them. So no matter what area you like, my advice is learn really well something, but never stop learning. Always keep learning the other areas. You don't need to be an expert in all fields of marketing, like Philip Kotler applied, but you actually need to be very good in something and have to be good at least in several other areas, because then you can do two and two together. There's no point you creating the perfect content that if you don't know if that converts or doesn't convert. Because if you say like, oh, that's not my job, I only create lovely SEO content, but you need to know the hard truth if that's working or not, because that is the objective of the company. Could be supporting sales team, could be increasing reach, increasing brand awareness. Really depends on the objectives that you want to reach. But to link both together normally is more than one area of marketing. So they're important to know the other areas that you work correlated as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm hearing that it's not just about the technical skills, but it's also actually about your attitude and being sort of focused but open to new opportunities. That's really interesting. Thank you so much, Giuliano. We've had a question about courses, but I'm gonna save that for it, because we are coming on to that as well, even though I've seen some of it's been partly answered, but we will be coming to your question. Thanks, Didi. Giuliano, thank you so much. I'm gonna bring on Rebecca now. And we've talked a little bit about ways into the profession. So there we go. Hi, Rebecca. Bye, Giuliano.
Can you see me?
Yes,
I
can see you.
Awesome.
We heard there from Giuliano, who's got many years of experience working as a marketer, but you're sort of at the other end of your career. Tell me a bit about what you're doing and how you got into what you're doing.
Okay, so currently I am working with OMD UK, which is a digital marketing agency. I have just passed my 3-month probation, so I think
Congratulations.
I'm able to say thank you. I'm finally a permanent member of the agency, which is great. That's where I'm at the moment.
Great. And so how did you, we've talked a little bit about courses. How did you get on, what sort of studies did you do to get that placement at OMD?
Okay, so actually the course that I completed was a digital marketing accelerator course with WIC Digital, who are actually here today, which is great. The way that I got in the course, it's quite interesting actually, because I knew for a long time I wanted to get into digital marketing, but without completing my formal education, I always thought that would be a barrier, and I was never sure how to actually access it. But during the sort of lockdown period, coming out of the lockdown period, I knew I wanted to upskill, and I started looking at courses all around London, and quickly realized how expensive these things can actually be. But I wasn't going to let that get me down. And as fate would have it, during that time, I actually saw an advert from the Prince's Trust, which was advertising this particular course, and it was fully funded. So I looked further into it, And I quickly knew that this was the right time for me to make this step. It was very scary to make that step. I mean, I actually had more experience in animal science, which is very different.
Yeah.
So I was a bit unsure about how this was going to go, but I completely knew that I wanted to have a career instead of, at the time, what I was kind of dealing with was dog walking, which was more like a job. So when I found these guys, I contacted them straight away, and only to find out I was one day late. So they had already recruited for week 6. And I was like, oh no. So I spoke with another person at the Prince's Trust, and I asked, what can I do to prepare me for this sort of career that I want? Are there any other courses? And she made me aware that actually what I could do is start with the Google Digital Fundamentals course, the Digital Garage. And that would prepare me for the course for the next cohort when they recruit again. So I kept my eye on my phone, my emails, everything. As soon as that email came through, I knew what I needed to do. And I was welcomed by the lovely people at WIC, which we're still in contact today, and I appreciate every part of it, to be honest.
Amazing. Before we move on to talk about the details of the course, you mentioned that Google Digital Garage. Tell us a little bit about that, because that sounds like it could be helpful to people.
It's very helpful. I would absolutely recommend. It's really easy to follow along. As I mentioned, I didn't have very much experience in the way of kind of examinations and sort of formal revision and studies. So actually for me, it was a great opportunity for me to kind of put my toe back into that pool and see what that feels like. And I actually took to it very well. Because it was very easy to follow. It teaches you a lot of the fundamentals that are going to be useful in kind of any track, I would say, whether that's analytics or whether that's SEO or whether that's like sort of paid search, paid social. There's a lot of information that's been condensed into digestible chunks.
Great. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll if for people that registered on Eventbrite beforehand, we'll send out details of that as part of the follow-up email. So yeah, tell us. So you applied for the course through the Prince's Trust and with WIC Digital. Tell us what kind of things you did on your course on the bootcamp.
Okay, so at that time it was a bit difficult. We were still figuring out kind of meetups and things like that. So actually we relied on inverted learning. So we would use different platforms where we could all, as a group, I think there was almost 40 of us students at the time on one cohort. So that was, it was different. It had its own challenges, but we worked out a lot of the kinks in terms of understanding how to use these platforms. A lot of us would be, and someone will be like, "You're muted."
Classic. We're still doing it 2 years later, aren't we?
Happens. So that was sort of the beginning bit, but we quickly learned that it's actually a better way, because there's things like Jamboard. I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but we would go into breakout groups, smaller breakout groups, and we would be able to kind of speak with our mentors as a group that we've been put into, and also we'll have visuals on the work that we're working towards together, that everybody can see. So it kind of took out the part where you're kind of calling your friends and you're just like, yeah, have you got notes on that? It was all it was all there, it was all on your laptop. So that was great.
Yeah, that's great. And so you said there were about 40 other people on the course. Did you, and it sounds like you had a lot of interaction with each other as part of your studies?
A lot of interaction. So I think throughout the whole course, we actually met up maybe 3 or 4 times. And on the first occasion, we kind of got the icebreakers out of the way. Everybody got familiar with each other. We started to get to know each other's names and what our interests are. So that was a great introduction. So then going forward, it made it a lot nicer because we all kind of had that familiarity.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And then just tell us a little bit about what sort of marketing areas you studied on the course. What sort of topics did you cover?
So everybody starts together. Everybody's at different levels. Some people, like myself, had never been in this sort of industry or field before. Other people may have had a little bit of experience. And so in the beginning, you start off with your digital fundamentals. Everybody's taught to that level where we're all of an understanding of the role of digital marketing and also all the positions that are available here. We quickly realized this is an umbrella term where there's so many roles that exist here. So there should be a place where everybody could feel comfortable. You can find your own position. So we started off with that in the beginning, and then you get a choice between 3 tracks, which is paid search, paid social, and then analytics. And you have loads of opportunities to ask each of the mentors about the different tracks before you make your decision. Then you make a decision, and you will then be, all of your learning will be focused on that track. I myself chose analytics, and I really enjoyed that track very much.
And so, yeah, what is it about analytics that appeals to you? Is that what you're doing now at OMD as well?
It is, yes. My role is quite analytics focused, but it's very varied, which I love. And sorry, it's cutting out a little bit. You can hear me?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Awesome.
Everyone else can.
Yes, so that is what I'm doing now currently. And what I'm drawn to, there's so many things that I'm drawn to about analytics, but mostly it's the problem solving.
Mhm.
It's the fact that there'll be an issue. I mean, why didn't we perform, or why didn't XYZ perform as well in July as June? So then that would be my opportunity to go in there and kind of figure out, okay, what looks right? Does anything look wrong? What can we do to improve this? And you get this real sense of achievement once you've found that solution. And that's what attracts me to analytics.
Yeah, perfect. And so you've been in position for 3 months. You've just passed your probation. What's I don't know, very exciting. What's next? What's coming up for you in your role?
Okay, well, now that I'm permanent, they're not going to be able to get rid of me. So I plan. No, I love it there. I love the learning. I love the support. It's such a friendly environment, especially being my first kind of official job, full-time, permanent. I mean, all of these things, it still feels quite surreal because the course kind of started and then it flew by, and then we had our interviews, which is at the end of the course. We're actually given the opportunity to go into a lot of different agencies, have a look at what they do, maybe ask some questions. And in my cohort, we actually had interviews at the end of the course, which was amazing. It was scary, it was exhilarating, but it was so worth it. It was great. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about from your course, or should we move on to meet Rob?
Yeah, I think the last thing I would just like to add, which I personally think is super important. So during my course, I would speak with my mentors about kind of going forward and what that would look like. Now, for myself, I actually have ADHD. And again, I used to think to myself that this would be very difficult for me in a workplace environment. And I was really concerned once I actually got the job. I mean, I went to the interview and the turnaround time was very quick. So then I started going into this panic mode, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Do I disclose? To disclose or not to disclose? That is the question, guys. So I spoke with my mentor, Rob, who you guys, I believe, are going to be able to speak to soon. And I spoke with him very honestly about my feelings at the time. And he was just so real and honest. And just, I really appreciated the advice he gave me. And what he said to me, he explained to me that actually, I can't tell you what to do, Rebecca, but let me just make you aware that if you do choose to disclose, this can't go against you. The company are responsible for making something called reasonable adjustments to support you in the workplace and make sure that you're comfortable and you can do your job correctly. And I spoke with him. I felt way more confident about speaking with my manager. The next day I spoke with my manager. I went into the office and sure enough, Rob was right. I mean, my manager was wonderful he was very open to listening to how that affects me. And then we sat down together and spoke about how we could help, how he could help me to kind of be comfortable and to perform correctly in my role, and most importantly, so I could pass probation. And sure enough, it was just lovely to know that it was taken seriously. It wasn't, in my mind, like something to be ashamed of talking about. Actually, I feel way more empowered because now my manager knows that I have this superpower where I can process things fast. And the reasonable adjustment, the first thing was that he gave me because I could actually just pop them on and just concentrate in any environment. And I really appreciated that. So just to leave that as the last thing we spoke about today, just want everybody out there to know that if you're in a similar situation, honestly, think about the options. Think about who you can speak to that's a trusted person, maybe somebody that's experienced in this profession, i.e. a mentor, and get that advice and see how you can become empowered and confident in your role as well.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing and for sharing something so personal. I really appreciate it. And I think I'm sure that lots of people will be inspired and reassured by your experiences. So yeah, thank you so much. So we've mentioned the famous Rob. I'm going to bring him on now. Hi, Rob.
Hey.
Thank you, Rebecca. We'll hang around. There may be some more questions for you, but thanks.
Awesome. All the best. Bye.
Rob, we've talked about your the WIC digital course and for the Prince's Trust. Tell us a little bit about that. And I'm gonna remove myself. You can.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, WIC Digital is a social enterprise non-profit. We sort of help young people launch careers in digital marketing. It started with a very simple premise. My co-founder, he's always worked in youth employability, and a few years ago, he said, do you need a degree to get into digital? I'm a digital marketer as well. I've been in the space for 17 years. And, typically people who go and get hired in the digital marketing space have been to university, educated that route, quite a traditional approach. But my understanding of the industry was that, as Juliana said, there's so many different types of jobs. There's potential roles for anyone, despite, regardless of background, personality, or expertise. And so we created WIC with an idea of, can we get underrepresented young people into digital marketing jobs, regardless of their background? And we've proven unequivocally that we can. And again, echoing what Juliana said was that, we look for attitude when we're looking to place people on WIC. And I remember interviewing Rebecca, and I immediately thinking, this girl's got the absolute right attitude to succeed in that space. And so yeah, so I've got a couple of slides I can share with you guys. So just let me know that you can see that. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, you're all good.
Cool. So I'll just tell you a little bit about WIC, how it works. So it's a free program. We run it in partnership with the Prince's Trust. The idea is to launch careers. And what like I said, what we found is that it doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter your education, doesn't matter what prior training you have. If you have the right support and you have the right attitude, then we can help you launch a career in digital. So we do a month of basics, as Rebecca said, get everyone on the same page. We've worked very hard to make the course as accessible as possible. So we have people who have been to uni, we have people who haven't. And then we get everyone up to the same page with a month of basics. And then they go into a month of accelerated learning. And that's in specific areas where we know that there's demand for jobs. So we've talked about paid search and paid social. But the real sort of, I guess, like secret sauce of WIC is that everybody gets to run live digital marketing campaigns. We match up with young entrepreneurs via the Prince's Trust as well. And so everybody then contributes to a live campaign with a real digital marketing budget, with a real business. And so that whole challenge of you can't get the job without the experience, and you can't get the experience without the job. We sort of look to solve that by running live campaigns. Like I said, it's a partnership with the Prince's Trust. We also work with an organization called Cognizant, and we're only a couple of years old. We're a new organization. We started in lockdown, but so far we've trained over 250 young people have completed the course. And then we average an employability rate off the back of that into permanent digital marketing jobs of around 75%. Like I said, we're a non-profit, we're structured as a social enterprise, we're mission-led. So most of we call them WICers. Like once you come on WIC, you become a WICer. And so that is, while you're on the course and after it as well. I saw that Carl's in the chat as well, mate. So hello, Carl. Thanks for joining us as well there. So most of our graduates come from, most of our trainees come from minority communities. Nearly half do not have a degree, and we're majority female as well. So, and then all of those segments convert at that same high rate into digital marketing jobs. One of the reasons WIC is so successful is that we built it to work for employers as well. So I've ran a digital marketing company in the past myself, and I know firsthand how hard it is to get entry-level talent right. If you don't get it right, it's expensive and it's time. It takes time and it impacts you operationally. And so we built WIC to work well for employers as well. And so we sort of like colloquially say that we help take the first 3 months off the hand of employers. And for that reason, we've placed young people at over 45 different digital marketing companies. Indeed, some of the biggest digital marketing companies in the world. Rebecca's at Omnicom, OMD. They're currently one of the largest organizations. But we also work with small independent companies as well, some startups, lots of different varieties. And so these guys collaborate with us while the program's on. So we'll go and visit their offices. They put forward mentors. They deliver guest training. And then like Rebecca said, at the end of the program, they have like recruitment days that are specifically set up for our trainees. And then, yeah, like I said, the real sort of, I guess, you know, the main unique point about WIC is that we actually work with these young entrepreneurs. And it's amazing because these young people are often from similar communities, the young people we work with as well. It's real money that's being spent on their businesses. And it really gives the young people who come on the course that real taste of what the industry is like. Another big part is that we work very closely with digital marketing experts. So WYK stands for what you know, because the idea was that we wanted to create something that wasn't about it being who you know to get ahead in life. It should not be all about who you know. But the truth, and there's a bit of irony in it, is that it is a lot about who you know. Having a peer network, having people you can talk to is a really important part of progressing in a digital marketing career. So everyone who comes on WIC gets a one-to-one industry-based mentor to help with CVs, to help with that probation period. Again, congratulations to Rebecca. I'm so proud, mate, that you passed your probation. So a big part of our program is actually connecting young people with people who are based in the industry already. And that's our guest speakers, our trainers and whatnot. And so actually, just to sort of wrap up, I actually took a big download of every job title, because there's lots of different jobs within the digital marketing industry. And I created a word cloud out of, you know, what are the outcomes for the young people who come on the course. And you can see it's really, really varied. We're mostly in the performance marketing side, mostly in the paid side, but people go on to work in analytics, SEO and everything. So yeah, so that's a quick summary. If you're interested in coming on WIC Digital, we've got applications open all year round. We're actually launching a program in a couple of weeks, and then we've got other ones in the new year as well. So far, we've done London, Manchester, Leeds, Bristol, but we are looking to expand our operations in 2023. So if you're interested at all, feel free to get in touch. Give me a shout. I'd be happy to tell you more about the program. Or if you've got any questions now.
There has been a question from Dee Dee about the age of the participants. So I know Prince's Trust work with 18 to 30-year-olds, I think it is. Is that true for all WIC digital programs?
Yeah, right now, we are actually planning in 2023 to work with people over 30 as well. We're very committed to making it as accessible as possible. We want to work with other underrepresented groups. So hopefully stay tuned on if you come and register on the website, Dee Dee, we'll be sending out updates as and when that happens. But right now it's 18 to 30. Yeah.
Perfect, thanks. We've actually got another bootcamp provider on, so I'm going to bring on now. Thank you so much, Rob. Great to hear from you.
Thank you,
Olivia. The London Digital Jobs and Skills Hub is a partnership between a lot of different organisations. Generation is our host, but we have Prince's Trust, Catch 22, and I'm pleased to say we're being joined by We Are Digital. Hi, Sophia. Oh, you're muted. We're still doing it. We're all still doing it.
Yeah, always the way. No, hi everyone. Lovely to meet everyone on here. So
yeah, thank you so much. And so we've heard quite a bit about the WIC Digital bootcamp because obviously Rebecca had first-hand experience of that, but it'd be great to hear about the We Are Digital bootcamp and what sort of things you offer and who it's for. So I'm going to hand over to you and bring up your slides now.
yeah, no, of course, no problem. So we our offer is basically the Skills Bootcamp in Digital Marketing. So if I go to the first slide. So We Are Digital are a social impact company, hashtag Tech for Good. And our vision is for everyone to access the digital and financial services and support that they need to live their lives on a day-to-day basis. So one of the projects that we are currently doing, funded by the Department for Education, is the Skills Bootcamp in Digital Marketing. And here are some of the partners that we work with as an organisation at the moment. So with our Skills Bootcamp in Digital Marketing, it's funded by the DFE and it is part of the bigger Skills for Life programme, so to get people back into work. So in that sense, you don't need to have any previous experience with digital marketing. You just kind of need to be passionate about it. So it's a free 12-week course that enables you to kind of enroll onto 14 different modules of digital marketing and also be taught by our industry expert trainers who have either worked in digital marketing or are experts within a particular field in digital marketing, like fashion, sports, that kind of thing. And we always ensure with these modules that they are up to date, the freshest ideas and everything like that. So you learn everything that's kind of very much the trend in the moment, if you like. So for the next one, so to be eligible for this course, you just need to be 19 or over. I assume most people are in London, so you're already eligible at this point. Either unemployed, self-employed or working part-time and have the right to work in the UK. So currently we've had our May cohort and we've currently got our September cohort going through the current Skills Bootcamp in Digital Marketing, but our upcoming Skills Bootcamp is on the 9th of January. So if you are interested, at the end, there'll be all the details there for you to kind of get signed up and everything like that. So here are a few examples. Well, here are all the modules that you will be enrolled onto when you complete the course. So a nice range here from organic search, paid search, analytics, email marketing, content marketing, social media. And then the final module, which is strategy, is basically where you work collaboratively in a group with your fellow learners, with a real life brief, so from ASOS, for example, and then create a real life company campaign for them and a digital marketing strategy, which you'll then present to your trainer and everything like that. So it's really nice where you can work with lots of different people. Cohorts at the moment are around 15 per bootcamp, if you like. So it's slightly smaller, so you get more of that one-to-one basis with the trainers as well, and it's more personal. You will also have that extra support there, so one-to-one sessions with your trainers where we can help you with your develop your CVs, tailor them depending if you've got a specific interest within a particular module or sector within digital marketing. So for example, if you wanted to go down the route of social media, our trainers can definitely help you with those. And then as well, once you've completed the 12-week course successfully, we will then help you to land job interviews. So these are some of the companies or employers that we work with at the moment. And we also have an online platform called WOD Pro where we upload all of the job opportunities that we have, and it's kind of, we get them firsthand, if you like, for you. So they're not published specifically to everyone at the moment, so you get to choose. You can choose the ones that you apply for, and of course we will help you to ensure that you are successful during the interviews to then land the job roles. And here are a couple of examples of our success stories. So we've got Sandy here, who was really struggling to find a job in digital marketing. She was really passionate about it, but she just couldn't find a job. She then enrolled onto our course, and within a week of successfully completing the course, she landed a job role. Same with Mohammed as well. He's now doing all the social media for his friend's business. So it doesn't really matter what your previous experience is. what your previous job role was. As long as you're passionate about digital marketing, we will get you to be able to kickstart your dream career, really. And then just if you're interested in registering, please feel free to scan the QR code. And if you've got any further questions, please feel free to connect with us. You can either email us or connect with us on like Facebook, LinkedIn, for example. So yeah, no, hopefully this sounds interesting. So
yeah, thank you so much. And so great to hear about a live opportunity that is starting early next year. Something good to be looking forward to in the new year. And just to confirm, you've got no upper age, no upper age limit for the We Are Digital Bootcamp.
That's correct. So it's just as long as you're 19 or over, you can apply for this. So
perfect, great. Well, Sophia, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. So one of our other a few of our other partners for the London Digital Jobs and Skills Hub provide apprenticeships. So I'm going to be joined by Monique from Barking and Dagenham College to talk about the offer that they have, including the apprenticeships. Monique, hi, how are you?
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Apologies, my camera seems to be doing that funny thing on a Monday. Hopefully you can hear me, see me.
Yes, we can see you. All good, thank you. Right, so we've heard quite a bit about boot camps. Could you briefly tell us about how apprenticeships can help you into a job in digital marketing?
So apprenticeships can help build on from kind of those first initial stages of a boot camp. So an apprenticeship within digital marketing tends to be between 12 and 18 months, depending on previous experience. An apprenticeship actually also can be somebody that has got some work experience. It isn't just for new entrants. But what an apprenticeship will provide is those that are new entrants, it will give them the skills and the knowledge that they will need to operate within those job roles for digital marketing. We've had a couple of other speakers, obviously earlier on, talking about the different variety and the wide ranges of roles within digital marketing. An apprenticeship can actually be and is tailored to those specific job roles as well. So it isn't. There are some areas in which it would be general content development, digital design, etc. But you can then tailor and specialize depending upon the organization and the business that you're working with. Just to say as well, apprenticeships are employed programs, so it would be employed status from day one, and the employment would need to last the minimum of the apprenticeship duration. But more often than not, we find that employers that spend that time and want to invest in apprentices actually do offer permanent roles as well from the start.
Great. And so just to confirm, you mean employed from day one, you're getting paid from day one?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. And what we also find in this particular area, in this particular apprenticeship is that the apprentice wage isn't necessarily applied either. It tends to be a decent salary that's paid for the apprentice, which again is always quite enticing. It's not always the way when you've got small startup businesses wanting to invest in apprentices, but more often than not, what we do find is that is the case within this particular area.
Great. And so tell us a bit about what sort of apprenticeships are on offer from Barking and Dagenham College at the minute, and what's your sort of eligibility rules and things?
But so for an apprenticeship, there isn't any entry requirements as such, other than you have to be over the age of 16 and have left full-time education, as in school-based education. An apprenticeship has no upper age limit either now. And in terms of our offer, we've got a wide range of offer, but particularly around the digital marketing, we do IT and telecoms, we do data analytics, we do business analyst and also cyber. So we've got a whole variety of different programs that are available through an apprenticeship, all again, as I've mentioned, with employers and employed status from day one.
Great. Lovely. So, and how can people find out about BDC apprenticeships? Where should they go?
So, following on from today, we can get out some information to people that are obviously interested. But looking at our website, we also offer open days. We've got a World Skills Week coming up soon as well, where we're inviting people in, including industry, to the event. So a lot of things are happening at the college. We run recruitment as well for those that are interested in apprenticeships but don't necessarily have the employment. So we support employers to recruit, but we do that, and we do that through recruitment and open days as well at the college.
Great.
So anything around the apprenticeships is available on our website, but also making a phone call to the college as well. We'd be able to speak to a specialist information advice and guidance officer that can support on that.
And is your website bdc.ac.uk? Is that right?
It is, yes.
Yes, great. There we go. Okay, so thank you so much, Monique, for joining us and for sharing details of those apprenticeships. I'm actually going to now bring back Sophia quickly, because we had a question for you, Sophia, which is from Sam. Basically, which areas are the We Are Digital Marketing boot camps available in? Oh, you're muted again.
I'm used to that with all meetings and stuff, but no. So to answer this question, and thank you for your question, Sam. So at the moment, the eligible areas are Northwest, Southwest, London. So all of the London areas, West Midlands, and also Lancashire as well. So our latest regions are Southwest and Lancashire, but London's been one of the ones we've done from day one.
Perfect.
So
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're nearly coming to the end. I've just got a couple more. So we've been talking about apprenticeships, one of our London Digital Jobs and Skills Hub partners. Another one is Multiverse. So they have these 2 apprenticeships that are currently live: a digital marketing apprentice for Cycle Exchange, exchanging premium used bike parts, and marketing assistant at Green Gauge, an independent environmental and sustainability consultancy. So the eligibility for those 2 apprenticeships are for ages 16 to 24 with GCSE English and Maths. So I've put the email address for the London Hub. If you have any questions about any of the boot camps, apprenticeships, or other opportunities that you've heard about today, please do email us, and I will be able to reply to you and help you out. I hope that you have found the information that we've presented to you today helpful. If you have any more questions before we go, I've still got Giuliano here, and I'll bring him back. And also, if feel free to ask us any questions. Otherwise, hopefully we've answered your questions as we have gone on during the session. And we will be following up with those of you that we have an email address for to give you details of some of the opportunities that we've spoken about today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Giuliano, for contributing as well. And thanks to Rebecca, to Rob, to Monique, and to Sophia for your contributions and helping our viewers get started in digital marketing. Thanks very much. Bye.